We're very happy to hear that you reach your 100 million target in 2 years itself, and the stock is opening. Of course, these are pre-opening rates, opening 2% higher. Basically, the markets have opened with a very strong lead for the bulls, 0.5% higher, and 11,450 is here. Leading the pack actually is L&T. So, the government's expectation perhaps of more infrastructure projects is giving this so far a laggard performer a bit of a tailwind. And there's ICICI Bank, cement, Mitesh's favorite sector, is also moving up. Shree Cement moving up. It's a fairly strong rise that we're seeing in the markets. Maybe it's time for some F&O strategies.
Yes, in fact, VK Sharma of HDFC Securities is with us on the phone line. By the way, a couple of these stocks like Uflex are doing well because of good numbers. So that stock is also up about 7%. Vinod, hi, good morning. Any thoughts from your end on this big run that we're seeing on the market? And what are the stocks that you would be bullish on now?
Yeah, good morning, Sonia. You and your viewers will know that we have all along been buyers in the market since March. That, having said that, I believe that you don't have to be really an analyst to know that the mid caps will run. They've already run up 10% in the current month, and more will come in the coming. We can say as far as that before maybe Diwali, we'll have a new high in place. Having said that, I'm looking at the same stocks which your lead analysts have looked at. I'm buying from the banking space, Axis Bank. I'm buying the 450 call at 12.6, stop loss at 9, target of around 20. And I'm also looking at Bajaj Finance. Now here it is not a breakout, but I see that there has a consolidation which has taken place. It's a sideways pattern. So I believe 3,500 call can be bought at with a stop loss of 55, target of around 120. Exide is my another pick where I'm buying the 170 call at 4.6, stop loss of 3, target of around 8. And Reliance is again I'm picking Reliance. Although the announcement of the medical business, e-medical business doesn't add up anything to the business, but it does tell you that you can't take Reliance, you cannot go short here. So I'm buying the 2120 call at 67, stop loss at 55, target of around 95. And my last call is from the metal space. This metal space has returned almost 16% in the current month. So I'm buying SAIL 42 call at 55 paise. Yesterday it had closed 70 paise. Since it will run up higher, so I'm trying to buy it slightly lower at 55 paise. I'll still have a stop loss at 25 paise and a target around 1.5 rupees.
Okay, Vinod,
so these are my calls.
Okay, Vinod, thanks a lot for all those strategies. The pre-open is actually much better than what the SGX Nifty is telling us. Now the market's got some kind of momentum, so obviously that's working for the market. Last and like Lata pointed out, is the top gainer. ICICI Bank is also up. Let's see where Z is. That's a stock which could be very interesting today because it's an F&O ban. So I think the start is pretty flat on Z. Yeah. So then of course we'll take it from there. Metals have done well. There is Z. India Bulls Real Estate is 10% upper circuit on that stock. So let's see if that's how it pans out. And there's a smaller stock called Ind Bank Merchant, which is up 10%. But otherwise, today
PNB is up 6%. Yes. My sense is the market is taking seriously the fact that it will encash its holding in UTI mutual fund. The papers are speaking about T. Rowe Price increasing its stake. We know that UTI is anyway looking for an IPO. So anyway, these guys, PNB, LIC, SBI, who all have a stakeholding, are contrary to SEBI rules. SEBI says if you have your own mutual fund, you can't have a stake in another mutual fund. So they have to anyway sell out. But that could be one reason why PNB is high.
Okay, well, Nimesh, my colleague, is standing by to give us some standout brokerage reports. This is our latest column. So, Nimesh, over to you. What is standing out today?
Hi, Sonia. So the big standout is a big call from Ridham Desai of Morgan Stanley. He says that after 30 months of struggle, the Indian mid-cap and small-cap stocks are likely to outperform on the back of attractive valuations and growth coming back. In fact, he says the growth is set to return largely on back of monetary things easing out and policy actions underway for the last many months, including the corporate tax cut which happened last September. So he believes that the valuations have become much attractive now, and smaller companies are likely to benefit on the back of leverage and financial stress easing out. So that's a big call coming in, that he believes that small and mid cap is likely to outperform. Morgan Stanley has put out a list of stocks in which the analysts are having an overweight rating, and the market cap is either $3.5 billion or less. I'll just run some of the names through you. It includes names like AB Capital, Apollo Hospital, BEL, Compton Consumers, GSPL, Shriram Group stocks like Shriram Transport, M&M Financials, IGL, Gujarat Gas, so a whole host of some 20-odd stocks which they have an overweight rating and they believe they will outperform. But the big call is, even after the big move in small and mid cap, he believes from here Indian small and mid cap stocks are likely to outperform and the valuations are very, very attractive.
Okay, Nimesh, thanks a lot for that update. For now, let's look at the market. The pre-open has settled now, 66 points higher on the Nifty, 200 higher on the Sensex, and about 145 higher on the Bank Nifty. So things looking up. Ashwini, if we open here, what's the call on the index and what's your 9-10 stock call?
Well, the market is gapping up, so any sort of declines towards 11, 360, 380 should be used to buy, because now that becomes the buying zone. You don't want to chase it in the morning because you can easily have some sort of volatility. But it's clear that the market is now getting bullish, and more short covering will come in once you have these sort of gaps. So difficult to say where the new guys should buy, but people who are holding on should continue to hold on. And 914 call would be Kotak, which is a buy with a stop of 1350, target of 1410.
Ashwini's 9-10 call. Sudarshan, your view and your 9-10 stock call?
See, those who are long should stay long. If you want to enter the market today, you have to wait for a 50-point decline from wherever we open. Don't enter or don't run after the gap up. And your stops should be 11,300 and keep it trailing on the upside. Escorts is a buy with a stop at 1103 and a target of 1254.
Okay, got that. Mitesh, your index and your stock call?
Yeah, on the index, as I said, I think we'll look at a test of levels close to 11,500, and on the stock side, I would choose a buy on ACC, keep a stop at 1414, look for targets close to 1475, 1480 on the upside.
Okay. By the way, just want to point out on the Nifty, we are now at the cusp of a very important level. Remember, this whole March decline started at 11,300. Now we are above that. Before that, the real decline which started in February was from 11,600, 11,633 to be precise, on a closing basis. So perhaps there's a bit of a free
resistance
ticket there. Yes.
And after that,
as you move closer towards the all-time high, that is going to be perhaps the tough part of the journey, because as you move closer and closer to the finish line, you always have doubts. So that's I thought I'll point out that 11,633 becomes an important level.
Line in the sand.
I just want to point out L&T. It hasn't performed all of this year, but for the last fortnight, the stock has been moving from higher highs, 900 and now 1,000 plus on L&T. Ashwini, just a quick call here. What would your view be?
See, there shouldn't be any doubt that this is now starting out a second phase of the bull market, which is the capex phase. I think the interest rate type of phase may be getting done. So L&T, first target is about 1,080, 1,100. Then the real thing would start. But I would think that L&T now crossing this 980 zone is now entering some sort of an upswing. Difficult to say whether it's a bull market, but the situation is ripe for all sorts of capital goods stocks to move up.
Okay. Devin, your thoughts on Larsen & Toubro?
Extremely comfortable, Anuj, I think, with this company now. I think governments have basically, started opening up a lot of infrastructure projects. And I think this is one company which is probably, cannot be ignored as far as, the project execution ability is concerned. So obviously, I think the order book is likely to grow up faster. What we have seen in last couple of quarters, I think relatively slow performance also because of the situation in the country. But as you start opening up, I think the company like Larsen could be probably really beneficiary. I don't expect, I think, a dramatic improvement in the business anyway, but I think this is always a slow execution process. But yes, I think with the corrected price, I think the stock is giving an opportunity for those long-term investors who are happy with 15-20% kind of a return over next 3 to 5 years, I think, in the stock on a yearly basis. So something like that, I think, is definitely possible in Larsen. One could possibly go for it with the corrected price.
All right. Thank you very much for your patience, Devin, and for all the advice that you've given us. We have just a minute more, so let's squeeze in the latest developments from Phoenix Mills. Sonal has that wrap. Tell us, Sonal.
Thanks a lot for that. Well, the company did speak about raising around 1100 crore rupees via QIP or debentures, but now they have launched a book and will be raising around 1100 crores via QIP. The indicative price is at 605 rupees per share, which is at a discount of 6.5% to yesterday's closing market price. This would also lead to a dilution of around 11.8%. And remember, the company had told us earlier that they will be using these funds for strengthening their balance sheet and also for creating a war chest for future expansion. The stock is up around 3% in last 2-3 days and will be in focus today as well. Back to you.
All right. Thank you very much for that, Sonal. Mitesh, I don't know, this is not a stock we discuss very often, Phoenix Mills, but is the chart telling you anything at all?
Brother, I haven't been tracking it regularly, but if I was to look at an initial kind of a look, I think there was some kind of a breakout on the short-term charts yesterday. The swing high was around 239, 240. I think that should be tested and cleared, and we can have a working target of 260 here to begin with.
Well, it's yet again one of those unlocked trades. I mean, if retail malls, etc., start opening, there should be a benefit. Or closest to you, is it?
Closest to us,